Hello, I'm Johnny Rowland, your host of the Shooting Show, and welcome to today's program. This is my lovely and talented wife, Heather, and we are indeed very pleased to be coming to you today. Well, friends, it's a sort of a dreary day out here on the range, and I tell you what, that's our future as it stands as gun owners looks pretty dreary. We have a couple of things here that I want to mention to you. A couple of our viewers sent things to us about what the gun industry is currently doing. This is a letter from the president of H&K, and they're asking that H&K gun owners, which is the very fine, HK makes some very fine guns. They're handguns, they're HK93, HK91 rifles, the MP5 for the military, very fine guns, and they're asking people that own HK guns to write a letter saying that they use their guns for sporting purposes, so they can turn it in to the State Department, or the people who are responsible for import licenses. Here's another example of another importer who is sending out letters to their customers asking, please, if you will, write a letter saying that I use my imported guns for sporting purposes. And here's another letter. This is the president of Colt, Ron Stewart, who is trying to make sense here. It's in the American firearms industry. Back in December, this month's guest editorial, it says he doesn't see a problem with the passage of a comprehensive federal firearms law, including the creation of a federal gun permit that would preempt the hodgepodge of existing state laws and local ordinances. Listen to this, though. He says we ought to give serious consideration to a gun permit requirement that would necessitate each permit holder to undergo thorough firearms training and pass a uniform examination. The law would also require that dealers qualify as certified firearms instructors and actively participate in training the public concerning the handling of guns. Guess what, friends? These are examples of how out of touch, as I have been saying for years now, how out of touch people in the ignorant firearms industry are. And I say that because we're in this mess because the people in charge of gun companies are in denial as far as what the problems are. These folks think if they can see or they can show that their guns are used for sporting purposes, which has nothing to do with our Second Amendment, that maybe the government will back down. Well, it is ignorant, friends, because it doesn't matter. These people who want to disarm us and take away everything that goes bang could care less if we're using the gun for sporting purposes. It's all about disarming the American public. It's about disarming you and I, all of us, as gun owners. That's what it's about. They don't care. I read these things and I say, Mike, here's what we've been telling the gun companies and the people in the industry for years now. It says, look, it doesn't matter. The only chance we as gun owners have is to inform more people in the public. They haven't seen a need to support activism, firearms ownership activism, that's what this program is about. They haven't seen a need to support our project because they said, well, the people in the government, they're reasonable people, and they told us they were. How stupid, and that's all you can call it, friends, how stupid are these people going to continue to be? It doesn't matter. All this is a dog and pony show, a light show about our rights which are in jeopardy. The folks in the government who want to disarm us, they know what this is about, friends. As long as we, the American people, have firearms, we can never become a police state. We will never be a slave state to the New World Order, which that's what these people have in mind. It makes me so doggone mad, and justifiably so, because how long are they going, the people in our own industry, that's why we're in the mess we're in. So many of our hunters think, well, it'll never happen here. I ain't never gonna come get my gun. I'm over here, me and the boys at the hunting camp. Well, you better wake up, Bubba, or whatever your name is, or Chartreuse, or whoever you may be at the hunting camp. They're coming. They're going to do it. They will do it if we let them. I've known so many hunters They said, well, you know, first day of hunting season, oh, that election, well, heck, I can't miss my first day of hunting season, and they didn't go vote. If you don't vote, you can't complain about what's happening. And all over this country now, the socialists are engaged in vote fraud. The only way we can beat them is with more numbers than they can cheat and supply. That's the only way we can beat them, is by forcing elections to be honest. Friends, we are in a mess here. You know, honestly, Heather and I were talking. She is 5 feet 4 inches tall, not a large person, but darling, with that 41 Magnum, with that 357, you're the equal of any human on earth.
That's right. I can take care of any perpetrator.
Well, that's really true. And these other women out there can watch you and the other women we've had on the program and say, wait a minute, I can do that too. What's Sarah Brady's problem that she doesn't want the other women to be able to protect themselves? You see, friends, the socialists don't care what happens to Heather or to you or me. They don't care. All they care about is control. All they care about, and see, the liberal socialists, they can't leave well enough alone. They can't leave us alone because they want power over the rest of us. Because guess what? Somebody's got to work. They don't want to work. They want us to work, and they want us to pay for their lifestyle, for their goofy ideals. They can't leave us alone. The only way they can be defeated is to be defeated. You can't reason with them. You can't defeat them by reasoning, because they're not reasonable people. I say they're mentally retarded because the people who can't conceive of the concept of personal defense or being secure in your own home, I say if you can't understand that, you're mentally retarded. Absolutely. In our country, you don't get locked up for being mentally retarded. In most cases, we got evidence of that, people walking around. Well, guess what, friends? If we don't stand now, if we don't make our points now, we're going to lose everything. Right now, Bill Clinton and Dianne Feinstein have a massive new scheme that's coming. It's going to deal with imported guns for now. They're going to make a massive assault on all imported guns. Then, as we understand it, they have gone outside the ATF, because believe it or not, there are some people in ATF that actually try and follow the law. So when they're breaking the law, unethical, immoral, and unreasonable, and certainly illegal, when they come up with these weird regulations, heck, they can't even go to ATF. They got to go to somebody out, and they say, well, how can we wire work this around to disarm more Americans? And that's what they're doing. They're doing it right now. And we're going to see a massive onslaught sometime this month, next couple of months, from Bill Clinton and Dianne Feinstein, because literally, since they're going to try and shut down so many of the imports, they may decide that what can't be imported can't be made here in the United States. So they may wind up shutting down a lot of our domestic firearms production and ammunition production too in the same deal. Now, is this going to pass Congress? Oh, no. Clinton's doing this right now through executive order. The only shot we have got is to get hold of our congressman now and say, look, you better stand against this. The Congress can nullify executive orders, but who knows if they will. Now, friends, it's not coming down the pike somewhere. It's here now. It's here. This fight has come to us. It's here now. What are we going to do about it? One of the things you can do, here's something you can do. You can help us stay on the air so we can keep getting this information out. You can help us do that, friends, if you can, because we're here today due to a large part of your contribution. If you can help us stay on the air, you can send whatever you can to the Shooting Show, 327 Irvin Rowland Road in Dubberly, Louisiana. That's zip code 71024. Again, the Shooting Show, 327 Irvin Rowland Road in Dubberly, Louisiana. Our phone number, 318-377-5189. Hey, friends, this is something that has to be done. We're here because those kind folks out there, those concerned citizens, those people who want to continue owning guns and being able to defend their homes, we're here because some of them cared enough to help. That's why we're here. We need more people that care enough to help, because we've got to reach more people, and we have to do it. I was talking to somebody the other day where we're getting crucified every week, every day, is on television, because the anti-gun, the socialist people, the socialist liberals who are anti-gun, control the major media sources.
That's right.
They control it. Well, hey, we're fighting back, and doggone it, they can't buy up all the satellite time. Not yet, anyway. You know, hey, we're still here. You know, that means if you're watching us today, that means we've still got a fighting chance, friends.
Right.
And that's what it's about. Well, we have a great show for you, and we want to unload on you early because it's got to be done. We have to know about these things. But we have a very, what we think is a very exciting concept today that we're going to be showing you. We have our Smith & Wesson. This is our 4-inch 41 Magnum. And in the full 41 Magnum load, Heather, I wouldn't ask you to shoot this because it's a little much for a woman or person your size. It's just, recoil is pretty severe with the full house 41 Magnum. It's darn near 44 Magnum. But today, I think you're going to be able to shoot it, and I think our water bottles out here are going to perform nicely. Well, let's see what it looks like. You ready?
I'm ready.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station. You know, friends, all of us as shooting enthusiasts should be subscribing to Shotgun News, the trading post for anything that shoots. 3 big issues monthly with literally thousands and thousands of firearms bargains. Give them a call, 1-800-345-6923, a very inexpensive subscription price. Again, 1-800-345-6923. Subscribe today.
Well, friends, we have something that I think is very important. This is a sort of a big deal to me personally because, as I've said many times on the program, as far as guns go, I really don't care what concept it is that works. I just want the best concept, and for several years now, I've been saying on our program that the 41 Magnum is arguably, because some people would argue for different purposes, but in my opinion, it's the all-around best caliber for handgun, or for a handgun, simply because the 41 has darn near as much power as a 44, but in one of the nicest packages, such as the Model 57 Smith & Wesson, which is the original Smith & Wesson 41 Magnum, it is such a nice package. And I say arguably because, yeah, you can have bigger calibers that will be more potent on game, like bear and elk or something like that, but really we're getting into rifle categories there anyway, and that's okay. But the 41 is such a complete package. Now, I didn't dream this up on my own. You had Elmer Keith, Bill Jordan, and Skeeter Skelton who came up with the idea, and what they were doing, as I understand it at the time, they were looking for a better police caliber, a better defensive caliber, say, than the 38 Special, or even the 357, because 357 was certainly out in the 1960s. The 41 came about in 1964, and it has sort of a strange beginning. I say strange because it looks like when Elmer Keith and Bill Jordan and Skeeter Skelton, what they asked for was a moderately high-powered, I say moderately high-powered, police-type cartridge, something that the police officers could shoot that wouldn't be too punishing in recoil, but would have more stopping power, say, than the 38 Special or even the 357. Well, I don't quite understand why, but it seems like the engineers at Remington, because they were the first ones to come up with the loaded round. It's called the 41 Remington Magnum, actually. I don't know. They looked at it and said, wait a minute, said, we've got an opportunity here. Here's a case of maybe just enthusiasts, I don't know. But they literally came up with a round that in some loadings is actually more powerful in a regular handgun such as this than the 44. Some of the 41 Magnum loads actually have more catalog muzzle energy. Muzzle energy you'll read in the specification book than the 44. Now then, let me say quickly, the 41 can never be in guns of big enough size. The 41 will never be more powerful than a 44 in a big enough gun, simply because it won't hold as much powder. Your diameter is not as big. But that's not what we're here today to argue. The 44 is a very fine caliber, but in a gun like the Smith & Wesson Model 57, and of course they don't make this gun anymore, they make the 657 with a 6-inch barrel in stainless steel. And honestly, since we've got fluid film, heck, I don't even, if I can get a gun in blue, I'm going to do it because I like the way blue looks, and fluid film just protects it. But anyway, in this particular gun, it makes, in my opinion, a nicer package on the in-frame Smith & Wesson than the 44 does. Tell you why. When the silhouette game came along, people started shooting silhouette. A lot of the Smith & Wesson 44 Magnums, people actually went out and shot them. Years ago, in the 50s and 60s and even into the 70s, a lot of people had a 44 Magnum. They've shot them maybe half a dozen times, maybe a couple of dozen times. They put them back in the box and they'd sit around and talk about it. Boy, that's a powerful gun. That's a powerful cartridge. And say, boy, it's tough on your hand. But people hadn't really shot them. All right, when they did go out and really start shooting the Model 29s, the 44 Magnums, on a regular basis, what happened? They would shoot loose. The cartridge actually was a little much for a continued shooting experience on the in-frame Smith & Wesson. Realize that the 44 is a lengthened 44 Special. And the 44 Special was a low-pressure cartridge. Now, the Smith & Wessons would hold together. Okay, they wouldn't blow up, anything like that, but they would wear prematurely because the gun, and in fact, Smith & Wesson addressed that in the late 80s, coming with an endurance package for the larger frame guns just for that reason, so the 44s would not shoot loose, so they'd hold up. In one way of characterizing the 41 Magnum on the Smith & Wesson large frame would be the new and improved version of the 44. I mean, that's my opinion. Simply because, and here's why. The 41s, the Model 57s, they never shot loose. And they had darn near the power capability that the 44s did, but they didn't shoot loose. They didn't wear out. Not nearly to the extent they didn't loosen up. So because you've got a little more metal in the cylinder, there's only 19 thousandths of an inch difference between the diameter of a 41 and a 44. See, a 44 is not really a 44, it's actually a 43. But a 41 is actually a true 41. Another advantage in the ammunition makers, they didn't have to download. Now, we've seen in the 357s, we got a couple of 357s here, there has been a tendency to download 357s because it's been made by a lot of foreign manufacturers. Some of the guns made for them are old now and they hadn't been cared for, and to avoid lawsuits, the ammunition manufacturers in many cases have downloaded the 357, so it's not nearly as powerful as it was years ago. But guess what? The 41 didn't even come along until 1964, and there was no 41 special, there was no 41 Russian or whatever other caliber. They were all Magnums, and every last one of them are geared to take the original Magnum loading. So, okay, as an example here, we have several 41 guns that we have borrowed and put together here from friends of ours, Clark Custom Guns in particular. What we have, this is the gun we got from Clark's the other day that we put together, a 4-inch Model 57. Here is our 6-inch Model 657, same gun just in stainless. And the reason we wanted a 4-inch gun is because it is more carryable. That's what we're concerned about, is having a gun we can carry. Here is the Ruger single action, terrific gun, my wife's favorite gun, in fact, for that matter, in 41. These are back in production now. We've got a Dan Wesson, one of our original shooting show guns. Very few of these exist at all. This is Dan Wesson 41. And we have a gun that is no longer made that was one of the best, friends. This is a Ruger Red Hawk, which is, talk about the Caterpillar version of the 41 Magnum. These are terrific guns, but you can't, they're very hard to come by now. Ruger doesn't make them anymore. They could. And what we're seeing, and this is important, we're seeing an influx of interest in the 41 caliber. Now, let's go to our bullets. And in your picture there, what you'll see on your left, you'll see a 9mm, a 40 Smith & Wesson, a 10mm, a 357 Magnum, the 41 Magnum, and the 44. Now then, a lot of you know there's a lot of interest in, certainly among police and defensive minded folks, in the new 40 caliber. Okay, it makes sense. It's a good cartridge. You know, some pretty nice guns out there that shoot them, but it's about a 180 grain bullet moving about 900 or so, 950 feet per second, a lot like 45 ACP, but guess what? It is essentially the same concept that Jordan and Elmer Keith and Skeeter Skelton had back in the early 60s, and realized that the 41 came out in 1964. So essentially, we've reinvented the wheel here. We've come full circle and said, wait a minute, a medium power, not a super powered, but a strong, roughly 40 caliber bullet ought to be really good for defense. You know, that's what we've come around to. Now then, the most reliable bullet launcher that we have come across is one of these revolvers. Now that's true, friends. A lot of us are rediscovering revolvers, and the good news is on another front, on the ammo front, is it looks like the industry and the general public is rediscovering the 41 Magnum. Now, I don't want to be the Jack O'Connor of the 41 Magnum. I don't care about that. Jack O'Connor was associated with the 270 and to ridiculous extremes. Hey, friends, I don't care. I just want what works. If we find out a rubber band gun, a full auto rubber band gun is better than anything, I'll be first in line. I don't care. But we're talking about the all-around best combination. Now then, the problems that police officers and average citizens had when they went and got 41 Magnums. Here it is. Here's the problem. Get my hearing protection in good. Was this right here. Watch. Was recoil, because you get a 44 Magnum class load in a fairly light handgun, believe it or not. Recoil was painful to a lot of people who wanted to shoot these guns. Talked to a police officer the other day. He said, boy, I sure like my 41. Just couldn't handle it. Just couldn't. It was just too much. Well, us and especially our good friends at Georgia Arms have come to the rescue, friends. Here's what we've done. We have designed a load that is a powerful load, that is as powerful as the best 357s, roughly 550 foot-pounds of energy, the best 357s. But since the 41 has about 1/3 more frontal area, it knocks a bigger hole, and we're using a bigger bullet, 170 grain bullet at roughly 1,200 feet per second. And guess what? That bullet out of this 4-inch model 57 has as much power as 100 yards as your 45 ACP does with a ball ammunition at the muzzle. So it's stronger at 100 yards than the 45 is at the muzzle. Yet, here's the thing. Watch this. Here's what you don't get. You don't get the massive recoil. It's not going to be any harder to shoot than a 357 Magnum. And what we're trying to do here, we're not trying to make a better 44. We're trying to make a better 357 actually, because I'm not satisfied that the 357 Magnum 125 grain bullet is just enough bullet for a lot of applications. For a small gun like this, SP-101 357 makes a lot of sense. Terrific idea, because it's a very small handgun. It still has a lot of power, small handgun. But for a wide variety of shooting, I personally prefer, and of course we live out here in the country and we get to do more shooting than most of you, I prefer a bigger bullet. But I also prefer something that can be shot rapidly and accurately as a defensive type gun. And I think a lot of you out there that have 41 guns or have overlooked them in the past would like this idea too. Now friends, we're going to attempt to demonstrate a recoil pulse here. We're going to start with the gun here at the essentially even with the bottom line here, and we've got two of the full charge, the 41 Magnum maximum loads. And here's why: a lot of people, it was just too much gun. It was just too much cartridge for a lot of people to shoot. And for any of us in rapid fire, yeah, it's pretty tough on your hand. But let's watch. I'm gonna make the gun equal here, and let's see how far or which line it will go up to as far as, watch the muzzle in recoil. Let's see what happens. Level out here pretty good, along about there, and we'll go ahead and pull the trigger. Oh, guess what? I'm looking about the fourth line here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try it again. Along about here. Okay, friends, now I'm not sandbagging. Like I said, I don't care what works. About the fourth line, that's where it recoils up, because I'm trying to stop it at the top of the arc. Now then, let's take two of our new 41 Magnum Defense Special loads. And this is what Curtis has decided to call this load, if they make it, the 41 Magnum Defense Special. Now then, we have two of them loaded. Yes, indeed we do. Same drill. Let's see where the muzzle goes with it. Okay, how about line number 1? See, we're a couple of inches away. Let's try it again. Want to get it right. It wants to be right here. Okay, maybe 1.5, somewhere there. But see, we're talking about cutting this much or so muzzle jump out with our Defense Special load.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
Now, friends, when is a plastic bag better than a cardboard box? Well, when it contains the great Georgia Arms ammunition. Look here in my hands, you'll see these cartridges have ballistic tip bullets. Those are Nosler ballistic tips, and what you get here is essentially custom loaded ammunition, custom grade accuracy at discount prices. I honestly do not see how they could do it. We have seen better accuracy across the board with rifle ammunition or with handgun ammunition from Georgia Arms than any other ammunition manufacturer we have ever tested. Friends, these are some of the nicest people we've ever met in the industry, and also they've committed they will make our 41 Defense Special, the 41 Magnum Defense Special, for us to sell to our audience if you do give them a call. That number is 1-800-624-6861. Give them a call, get a free catalog, free phone call. That's as good as the deal gets. Hey, what, friends, the good people at Georgia Arms do understand what's going on in this country. They understand how important our gun rights are, and they're supporting us on this project. The good news is you can get absolutely superior ammunition at discount prices, whether you have a handgun or a rifle. If you want to take that big hunt, you can afford to practice with your rifle as well as use that same ammunition on the hunt because they are so reasonably priced. These are some of the nicest people we have ever met in this business, bar none, and they're down in beautiful Villa Rica, Georgia. So please, friends, if you would, you can get a free catalog with a free phone call. That's as good as the deal gets. A free catalog, free phone call, 1-800-624-6861. Again, Georgia Arms, 1-800-624-6861. And please tell them you saw it here on our shooting show. All right, friends, like I said, what we're concerned about here is a defensive loading. We're going to compare our 41 with the new Defense Special load. And we're not talking, hey, look, this is not a wimp now. This has more power or as many foot-pounds of energy as the best 357 Magnum. However, it's got more momentum with a bigger bullet. And I think it's going to be a better defensive load. Like I said, all the interest in the 40 caliber. Let's try a 357 Magnum here in time, and bear in mind it's cold out here today and my hands are cold, but I'm going to do the best I can for us. And like I said, this is not a hollow promotion. What we want to do is we want to find the best thing. So let's go ahead and run 5 shots with our 357 and compare. Of course, this is a 6-inch gun. It'll have a little bit of an advantage. It's a heavier barrel, but hey, let's find out. You know, that's what we're about. And Georgia Arms has told me if there's enough interest of our program where you would like them to manufacture this 41 Defensive Special, and I think it's a terrific idea. You can call them and ask for it. So if enough of you respond, they're going to make this load. If enough of you don't, I don't know if they will or not, but it'll be a tremendous offering. It'll be, like I said, much easier to shoot, but still a very effective defense load. Now then, you're maxed out on the 357 Magnum with what we're talking about here for defense, but heck, this 41 we're talking about, it is just cruising. You have the option of going way up in power where the 357 simply cannot go in power factor. So your option, if you so desire, if you want to hunt with it or some other silhouette shoot or whatever else, you have the option with the 41 of going way up in power, whereas the 357 you don't because you're maxed out. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Got our timer on here, and we're pretty close, and I'll shoot 5 shots as quickly as I can, and again, my hands are cold, you know, but we'll see what kind of time I get. Yes, it's cold out here, but that's all right. Here we go, 5 shots. And we'll look at our group size up close and personal. A little test here. Okay, 1.33 seconds, and we have blew our tape off some earlier shooting we did, and we're looking at a pretty fair group. We'll look at it in just a second. Now then, same drill with our 41 Magnum. We're looking at 1.33 or 36, whatever it was. Here we go, let's see. 1.33 seconds for the 357 Magnum. Like I said, my fingers are cold out here today. We're having cold weather all over the country. Let's do the same drill with our 41 Magnum Defense Special Load and see what happens, see how it looks. Okay, 1.30. So in fact, I was a little bit faster, and the hole is a lot bigger than the 357. So let's take a look at our group size here. So see, with our 4-inch 57 that we got from the good folks at Clark Custom Guns, I was actually a little faster than with a 357. So you're not giving up speed. My friends, here was my group with the 357, 1.33 seconds. This is my group with the 41, roughly the same size group. Notice though the holes are bigger, 1.3 seconds. So I actually gained 0.03 of a second, so there's no appreciable difference. Well, let me tell you what, that 41, we believe, is going to be a better all-around load. But like we said, you can take the gun on up in power. It looks really good as far as a do-everything gun. Remember, I didn't dream this up. We're talking about some of the greatest shooters of all time, Bill Jordan, Elmer Keith, Skeeter Skelton, people that knew more about guns than most of us will ever know. So anyway, so we're certainly competitive in time. Now friends, we shot some groups with all 5 of the 41s we were able to come up with for the show today. And I'll show you what they are for this particular gun for our Defense Special. Now what we're talking about, if we wanted to see how accurate across the board in a variety of guns that our 41 Magnum Defense Special load would be. In our 4-inch Model 57, it went 2.4 inches. All right, in our, turn over here, in our Dan Wesson, it went 2.2 inches. And what we did, we didn't spend hours on the range doing it because it was cold and raining yesterday when I shot these things. And we just wanted to get some representative groups of what it would do in a variety of guns. Okay, the next gun we shot it in was the 6-inch Model 657. It went 1.6 inches. So I'm thinking that is just excellent performance. And we shot it in our 4 and 5/8 Ruger Blackhawk. It went 2.2 inches. So I, again, thought that was excellent performance. We took our 7.5-inch Red Hawk here. It went 1.66 inches, and I felt like I just didn't, we had a few minutes extra. We were trying to get through, and I said, well, heck, I'll shoot one more group, and I'm really going to take my time on this Red Hawk because the folks at Clark Custom Guns, this is actually a gun that they loaned us just to use today on the program. It's had an action job, and it is smooth. It has an 8-pound double action trigger pull, a 2.5-pound single action trigger pull. Tommy there at Clark's really did a nice job on this Red Hawk. So I slowed down and took my time and just to see what the old gun would do, and it shot a .9 9/10 of an inch 5-shot group at 25 yards. All these groups at 25 yards with our Defense Special load. So I don't really think accuracy is going to be an issue here. Any gun that'll shoot is 4 in one hole, and then the 5th hole is 1/4 of an inch away. The whole group size here is, in fact, 9/10 of an inch with 5 shots. And like I said, I just slowed down. The first one was 1.6 inches. And I said, well, heck, let's give it a chance because we had the extra time there last night. Friends, that's any load that in 5 different guns, the largest group is less than 2.5 inches at 25 yards for 5 shots. Just me shooting it off the bench, a better shooter would have done better than me. But I think that is superior performance for what we're talking about here. Like I said, if you would like to have some of our 41 Magnum Defense Special loads, please call Georgia Arms and order some. Because I think if they get a pretty good response, they're going to make this. And the good news as far as finding guns out there, a lot of you have 41 Magnum guns at home that have just been too brutal to shoot. As for a lot of you, like I said, my wife can shoot this 4-inch Model 57 with the Defense Special load, and I would prefer that she didn't. She is not comfortable with the full house load simply because it hurts her hand. Simple deal. So give them a call. This is a terrific, we think it's a terrific combination. We've worked long and hard on this, and according to all our work, we have achieved a proper power level that's easy to shoot and manageable, and we certainly have evidence of super accuracy with this load. And give Georgia Arms a call. Their number is 1-800-624-6861. Again, 1-800-624-6861. We think this is something that's going to be very useful to a lot of you. You police officers that still like revolvers, that want something more effective than, say, the 40 caliber, or certainly the 9mm, but the 40 caliber, even the 10mm, or even the 357, and want much more power capability in your gun, but you want to carry something you can use for defense. This is a great idea for you. You can go home and get your Model 57s out and shoot them again, you know.
If you can handle the 357 Magnum, you can easily handle the 41 Defense Special Load. There's my group, ladies and gentlemen. Not bad.
We have a little action set up here. We have a 5-shot drill we're going to run, and we're going to compare the 357 and the 45 1911. Again, as good a semi-automatic as it is made. Let's just start with our 357, and remember, only hits count. We want to put one in all of the center circles there. We want to stop with our disc. So let's do a little comparison here with our 357 Magnum. We'll try the three of them briefly as we are here. Okay. Punch our timer and let's do it. It's cold out here, but it's still fun. Okay, 3.03. So I'll make a note of that over here. Okay, so I can remember. But okay, 3 point, and we had all good hits in each one of the circles. A couple of them barely in, but they're in. Okay, let's try the 1911. Let's do the same drill. As I've said many times before, you really don't give up anything in speed with a revolver with a little bit of practice. Some people would argue that, but heck, friends, we shot them and shot them and shot them. It takes to run any of these guns well, it's going to take some practice. All right, same drill, the 1911. We're not going to tape our holes because there should be just a specified number of holes in each one of them. All right, let's do it. From the low ready position, start our timer. Okay, we had hits again, 3.51 seconds. The shorter sight radius on this commander style or size gun, that's the Israeli 1911 actually. It's a really nice gun. So the 45 ACP, we have hits in each one of them. Go ahead and put this down. So it was 3.51 for the 45. Okay, our same drill with our 41 Defense Special Load. And like I say, hey, this is not a wimp load, but it's controllable. It's not going to hurt you. If you can handle a 357, certainly I believe you can comfortably handle this 41 Defense Special. Those of us that want more power, but certainly in a defensive combination. Okay, be sure that's what I've got loaded in here. Yes, indeed it is. Okay, let's do it. 3.46. So today I was a little slower than the 357 for who knows why, but I was faster than the 45 ACP. And we have good hits. Good hit here, 3 here, 3 here, 3 here, and hit our steel disc. So it's competitive, but we have a more powerful combination available to us. so we can remember that. Okay, like I said, I'm not sandbagging. It is cold out here today. So what we're talking about here is competitive times.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station. Now friends, here it is. This is the great 1919 Browning converted to semi-automatic from the good people at NWI. This is your chance to own a real piece of history. They're very collectible. They're also a lot of fun to own and shoot, and very reasonably priced, certainly for what you get. The 1919 Browning is from NWI. That phone number, area 503-429-5001. They also have the ammunition special still going on. 30-06 ammunition, only 18 cents a round, surplus in the belt. So give them a call today. NWI for the great 1919 Browning conversion. Also remember, they have the A6 conversion with the shoulder stock and the bipod, but these are tremendous pieces of history, also great shooters. So give them a call today, the 1919 Browning from NWI, area 503-429-5001.
And friends, we feel we should make this announcement. Trust me on this one, these guns will not always be available. You can still get them now, and they're very affordably priced. In fact, if you don't have enough for the gun, they'll even break up the payments for you so you can afford one of these great 1919 Brownings. And if you look on the January issue of Guns and Ammo magazine, you can see a picture of the NWI 50 Browning semi-automatic conversion of the 50 Browning machine gun. Now these are also available for now. They have an ammunition deal on the 50 Browning. It's been very expensive in the past. You can get it through NWI at a much reduced price. So please, friends, if you have any interest at all, a lot of us do, in one of these great 30-06 caliber or 308 caliber, whichever, in the 1919 Browning or the 50 Browning version, the semi-automatic conversion of the machine gun, please give NWI a call today, area 503-429-5001. And again, please don't forget to tell them you saw it here on our show. We think that Smith & Wesson is going to come with a new model, a 4-inch barrel model of the model 657 this spring sometime. I think so. And I don't even know if I'm supposed to say that or not, but I think, let's just say that I got a pretty good idea they're going to do this gun, a 4-inch barrel model similar to this model 57 this spring sometime. But our friends at Lou Horton are ordering 2 separate models in cooperation with us here on the Shooting Show. And what our friends at Lou Horton, those of you who know very much about the gun business, know that Lou Horton is a very large distributor. They're there in the Northeast, and they're really nice people. And what they're going to come with, and it'll be, hopefully, in just a couple of months, these guns will be available. Right now, we're asking for a 3-inch combat special model 657, a 3-inch barrel, be a little shorter than this, but you won't give up much with our defense special load. It's still going to be running along there about 1,230 or so feet per second like it does out of this 4-inch. Very efficient load. And also, we've asked for a 5-inch barrel, which will be similar to this length here, with a power port, which is going to keep that muzzle down further. So that's what we're asking for, and we do appreciate that. So we need to be watching for this, because Lou Horton it looks like the deal is a go. So they're very nice people, and we appreciate them assisting us on this project, simply because, hey friends, I think it's a great idea. You know, we're rediscovering one of the best cartridge inventions for handguns of all time. So I think it's exciting. Heck, it's fun. The Smith & Wesson, these end frames are such nice and carryable guns. It's really a neat package. Another super option, if you like lightweight and powerful guns, of course, is the Ruger Blackhawk, because I talked to Dick Ballou at the SHOT Show last year. He said, well, we won't see any more Ruger 41s. I said, I hate that. But we've been promoting them, and a couple of the writers in the magazines, Frank James, Dick Metcalf, also are big fans of the 41. And hey, Ruger's had to go back in production with these guns. I think that's great. So, in fact, just for fun, since we're here, let's go ahead, let's run the same action drill. And we've got this one loaded with the ultra hot 41 loads. And let's see, now I won't shoot them as fast as I will the Defense Special load. But hey, just for fun, since we're here, let's load up with some of our Defense Specials, and let's time it on these 5 targets and see just how well I can keep up with the single action. Punch our timer, our little single action here. Hey friends, I was out of the circle on one and just a little under one on there, but guess what? 2.8 seconds. So I was actually, of course, I was rushing, yeah, and I wasn't in the circle on one. I'll say that. But see, you can, if with a little practice, you can run one of these single actions as fast as you can anything else. I can't do doubles as fast as, for example, we still got some couple of shells here in our 45. We got 3. Let's run a couple of doubles. 2 shots. In fact, let's do 3. 1, 2, 3. 2 in the bottom and 1 in the top target there. Let's see what it looks like with our timer here. Okay, 1.53 seconds for our 45, and realize it's a much milder load, and yet we had all hits. Let's try our Model 57 with a much more powerful load. 1.53 second and a half. Let's see if I'll be close to it with this gun here. Let's see what it looks like. Like I said, yeah, part of my job is absolute fun, and this is, trust me on this one, it is absolute fun. Let's see what it's going to do. Three shots, 1.06 seconds. So I was, well, let's try that again. That's, that's one of those deals where, what? Did it get the last shot? And there were hits too, so let's see, let's try it again in case that was a fluke, in case that was a mistake. I don't know. 3 shots in 1.06, including from the low ready. Let's just say we're going to double check it. No fluke. 1.08. Well, friends, we hope you've enjoyed our program today. It's really been a lot of fun working with these 41 caliber guns. I want to remind you that Clark Custom Guns has this Red Hawk for sale. This is a custom Red Hawk, a $600 retail value, and it's not a new gun, but it's darn near it. And of course, it works the most accurate Red Hawk I've ever seen in 41 Magnum chambering. Very collectible. You can give them a call if you'd like this gun for only $350, which I think is a very a terrific buy. You can call them area 318-949-9884. Again, area 318-949-9884 if you'd like to have this Red Hawk. Tell you what, I can't even afford to pay attention right now. I'd buy it myself. It is absolutely a terrific gun. We want to mention the other people in our support group. our good friend Dennis Crocker, who is a firearms instructor in South Carolina. He's located there in Spartanburg. He's authorized to go throughout the state. His number is area 864-587-8722. Again, 864-587-8722. He has courses in basic pistol protection and concealed carry. Also, our friend James Calhoun there with Calhoun Bullets. He makes custom 22 and 17 caliber bullets, super accurate varmint bullets. You can give him a call, area 406-395-4079. Again, area 406-395-4079. And Dennis and Jeannie Ritchie with custom leather work in saddlery in Denham Springs, Louisiana. They do all sorts of custom leather work, from saddles and tack to specialty items on shoes, special shoe repair. You can give them a call, area 504-667-9225. Again, area 504-667-9225. And Flying Horse Enterprises, folks have some terrific paintings there. You can find them on the internet, djcs.home.mindspring.com/gallery.htm, and they have a most interesting selection, and we really appreciate their joining our support group. We have someone new this week, Back 40 Sporting Clays in Bourbon, Indiana. Larry and Karen Meister, we really appreciate you folks. If you'd like to call their sporting clay range, you can. Area 219-342-4665. Again, area 219-342-4665. And if you would like to have Spyderco or Cold Steel knives at discount prices, call our friends at Advantage Outlet, 1-800-561-1719. Again, 1-800-561-1719. Friends, our support group means an awful lot to us, but you know what means a whole lot to us is your support of our project. As we speak, we're losing our rights to own guns here in the United States. There's so many things going on that have to be corrected. They have to be. Friends, we have got to stand now. One way you can make a stand is by helping us stay on the air. Friends, if you can, please help us. Send whatever you can to the Shooting Show, 327 Irvin Rowland Road in Dubberly, Louisiana. The zip code is 71024. Please, if you can, we need your help. Also, our radio show will be back up hopefully next weekend on the American Freedom Network. That's on GE1 Channel 7, 5.8 audio from noon until 2 o'clock on Sunday. Hopefully, the American Freedom Network will be back up just in the next couple of days. We really wish those folks every success. Until next week, we'll see you on the next program. Again, thank you so much for watching our show, and we hope we'll see you next week. And we darn sure don't want to forget Fluid Film, the best lubricant, spray lubricant, protecting oil cleaner we have ever seen or heard of. In fact, in a class by itself. 2 large cans, 11 3/4 ounce cans, only $19.95. Order today.